Hello folks, welcome back. I've got an extra decal and I'm going to show you how to go ahead and put this decal onto this faceplate. So the first step is to drill those rivets out, and let me show you how to do that. I bought a new gauge because this one was burned out, but I'm going to show you the whole steps on how to put that decal on there. Now this center punch works great, and the more I use it, the more I like it. In fact, I like to do it 3 times to get that center punch right there. Now the drill comes in. In this case, I don't have to be careful with the needle. But if you're going to reuse the gauge, yes, you have to be careful where the needle is because you're going to have to reuse it. The needle, I'm going to go ahead and drill this guy out. Right there. There's one. And it looks like the other one came off too. Right? Now, in the instructions, they say to sand and paint this faceplate. Now, I went ahead and I did what they said, but I've decided all you really have to do is to scuff it up, right, for the decal to stick well. The paint was just in case the decal didn't fit just right. So I have scuffed up the surface where the decal is going to go, right there. Now I've got the decal almost ready to go. The instructions say to use some water on both the decal and the faceplate. I've got it scuffed up. I've got this one here. I peel it off. I'm not bashful. I dunk it on there, get it all wet, and there is some sticky on here. And there's nothing really hard about this, because if you don't get it the first time, you can move it around a little bit. So I lay that down there, okay, and just with my fingers, or I guess I'll use that sponge. I'll use that sponge to squeeze out any of the bubbles. Now I got real lucky because sure looks like it lined up just right. Now the kit comes with a couple little bitty screws to get this guy back on there, and that was simple enough. Let's get to another section of this video. 2 wires for the fuel gauge, 2 wires for the amp gauge, 1 wire for the illuminating lights, and a ground. That's 6 wires. Boy, oh boy, I'm getting so lucky on this extension cord. This is a pigtail. A pigtail is an extension to the device you're going to power up. I'm not going to try getting up underneath that dash and wire this up. I've pre-wired it and I've tested it, and I ran a long pigtail. That long pigtail is headed toward a bus bar that I'm going to put at a very convenient place. Now, each of the wires is going to be labeled for future reference. The labeling will occur with a heat shrink, a clear heat shrink that will spell out what that wire is doing. For example, power to the fuel pump, sender wire fuel pump, amp in, amp out, dash light, ground. Everything will be labeled, not just for me, but in the future. If anybody needs to figure out what's going on with the wiring, everything is going to be labeled very clearly. Pigtail, kind of a funny name if you ask me, but I asked my associate technician and he says yes, that is the correct name. So a pigtail is an extension off of the devices that you're going to work. It works great. This is all ready to go. I'm just going to slide it in. Now you can see I'm working on the dash. I'm not going to install this until the dash has been painted. You can see how I've been sanding it and grinding it. I even covered up that radio hole, but I'm going to slide that up in there when it's time, and the speedometer, and I'm probably going to put this bus bar at a very convenient centered place. All the wires will be labeled and we'll be able to connect it, and it's not that hard. Doing the wiring on your project doesn't have to be overwhelming. The secret to wiring is 1 wire at a time. If you take your time and just do 1 wire at a time, you'll be able to rewire the basic project of your choice. Folks, thank you for sticking around. You know we like those thumbs up. Hit that notice bell for us. Thank you.